This is part 2 of my screen series, Your Baby's Brain, How Interaction Shapes It and Why Screens Shouldn't Replace You. Imagine a baby born with the brain the size of a small balloon. It's full of potential, but almost none of the connections that will support language, attention, emotional regulation, or social skills yet exist. It's like a sieve that needs aligning bit by bit until it's done in such a way that it acts like a bucket and not a sieve. That's the only way I can describe it. So from 0 to age 5, a child's brain goes through its most rapid growth. By age 5, the brain is more than 90% of its adult size, with trillions of connections formed compared to when they were born. But these connections are not automatic. They are built through experience, through interaction, and through being seen, heard, and loved. This is why what you do with your baby matters. Every smile, every word, every song is literally wiring their brain to make them the adult they will become. Human interaction shapes the brain. From the very first days, babies are wired to interact with humans, with their mother. When a baby coos, looks at you, or reaches out and you respond, you're creating a serve and volley return cycle. This back and forth is critical for building social, emotional, and cognitive circuits. When you smile at a baby, their visual cortex and face processing areas in their brain light up. Their mirror neuron system fires. They practice your expression. Their limbic system, which regulates emotions, senses, safety and reward, neurochemicals like dopamine and oxytocin, release, reinforcing attachment and making interaction rewarding. That's why masks were so damaging to children. Talking and singing to your baby have similar effects. Simple songs, repeated sounds, rhythmic speech help the baby's auditory cortex, language circuits and prefrontal cortex develop. They learn patterns and meaning, which are the foundation for later language and thinking. They bond with you as they do so. So screens versus human interaction, is there really a difference? A lot of people think this, and they often say to me, well, my little one only watches educational programs. They must be helping teach them. It's true, they can be entertaining, but the brain processes a screen very differently from how it processes a human being. Screens cannot respond to a baby's cue. There is no back and forth, no serve and return. The brain gets visual and auditory input, but the social and emotional circuits, the ones that respond to smiles, eye contact, and contingent speech, are largely silent. Screens can capture attention through colour, sound, and motion, but the attention is passive, it's not interactive. Every minute that a baby spends watching even a well-made programme is a minute not spent engaging with an actual human, exploring or moving, all of which are crucial for healthy neural wiring. Then screens are often used to quiet tantrums. Now, this is very common. Calming a child during a tantrum with a screen. Many parents automatically reach for a screen to distract the child, and yes, it often works. The child becomes quiet, but here's what's actually happening in that child's brain. Immediately calming, the baby's attention is grabbed by the fast-moving images and sound. There's no self-regulation in practice. The child isn't learning to manage their own emotions. The prefrontal cortex and limbic system circuits for emotional control are bypassed. This isn't normal. It's not how the brain is designed to develop. It externalizes coping. The child learns that comfort comes from an external object, not from internal strategies or social support. Over time, this repeated reliance on screens for calming can lead to delayed self-regulation skills, increased tantrums when a screen is unavailable, and I see this in babies as young as 6 months old. Yep, parents tell me that they cannot go out to eat in a restaurant because their 6-month-old isn't interested in the toys they present and screams until they get Miss Rachel on a screen. This is addiction in a 6-month-old. And yet no parent would give a 6-month-old heroin or whiskey to calm it because they know that that's silly and it's harmful. So I'm assuming that parents just don't know how harmful Cocomelon or Miss Rachel is. So they need to be told. It's not their fault. greater impulse-driven behaviour is seen. Increasingly, we are seeing children having challenges with attention and emotional control. There has been a 150% increase in ADHD diagnosis in the last 15 years, and this is growing year on year. Think about it. While a screen works in the short term, it short-circuits the brain's natural emotional wiring, which depends on responsive, human-led support. The research is very clear. Real interaction, empathy, reassurance and guided practice builds the emotional self-regulation they need. Screens do the opposite. Science shows long-term effects, and I promised you a look at the research. So, babies and toddlers exposed to more screen time early on tend to have smaller vocabularies and weaker language skills by the age of 2 and 3. By preschool, studies show differences in attention, self-regulation and social understanding compared with children who spend more time in interactive play. Even programs that seem educational like Cocomelon or Baby Einstein prime the brain for passive reward rather than active learning. They engage dopamine circuits but not networks for problem solving, social understanding or emotional regulation. Screens are not inherently evil, but the brain is wired for responsive human interaction, not passive one-way viewing. When screen time replaces real-life engagement, the brain circuits for language, emotion and executive function develop differently, inferiorly. So why does this matter in early years? Well, the data is clear. The first 5 years are the critical window. Neural circuits are formed, strengthened or pruned based on the experience. When interaction is replaced by screens, language and executive function may lag. Emotional regulation circuits may not get repeated practice. Attention may become more reactive, seeking constant novelty instead of sustaining focus. These differences are measurable by age 5. Vocabulary, attention span, social skills, emotional coping are all affected. It's not deterministic. Many children still thrive, but the risk is real and it accumulates when interactive human-led experiences are displaced by screens. But don't take my word for it. There are multiple good, big and recent studies. For example, a recent OECD report summarising global research on children in the digital age concluded higher screen use in very young children is associated with delayed language development, poorer working memory, more internalising or externalising of behaviours. Early screen exposure may also be linked to delays in fine motor and communication problem-solving skills. Background screen exposure even interferes with parent-child interaction, which is crucial for learning. So it's clear, under 5s are in the most critical part of their brain development, and screens disrupt it in ways that shape their future emotion, their ability to focus, their happiness, relation building and learning capability. So what can we, the literal adults in the room, do? What can we do to help our children's brains thrive? We need to prioritise human interaction, talking, singing, reading, playing, even simple back and forth routines. Use screens sparingly, if at all. If you do, co-view and engage. No alone viewing time. It's the worst kind of abusive babysitter. Ask questions, repeat words, mimic movement together. This allows the brain to connect visual input with social interaction. And don't use screens as a default calm down tool. Guide emotional regulation with words, touch, modelling, coping strategies. Remember, the most powerful tool for your baby's brain is you, your voice, your smiles, your responsiveness. No cartoon, no app, no tablet can replicate that. Every smile you give, every song you sing, every story you tell is literally wiring your baby's brain for language, empathy, attention and self-regulation. Screens may entertain, but human interaction builds brains as they are meant to be built. In the first 5 years, your presence and interaction matters more than anything else you can give your baby. And I understand that women work, that lives are busy. This is not a guilt trip. It's about the rules that you put in place. So, if you have a childminder, ban screens. Let them do what you are paying them for. minding your child not to sit them in front of a screen. If they're at nursery, visit the nursery, see how they interact with the kids. Ask about screen use. It's your baby, it's your toddler. You make the rules. And then when you're at home, do the same. I know you have to cook. I know you're tired. Put a chair in the kitchen. Put some toys on the tray. And as you cook, clean, mend, wash, talk to your baby. Tell them what you're doing. You're putting potatoes in a pan with hot water. The more vocabulary a baby hears, the better theirs will develop. And don't feel silly telling your 3-month-old that you're picking up the washing and putting it in the washing machine, or you're boiling the potatoes. It doesn't matter. They're listening to the sound and tone of your comforting voice. That's all they need. It doesn't matter what your voice is saying. They listened to your voice for 9 months when they were inside you. It's the first voice they ever heard. It's the one they associate with safety and love. And don't be scared to read to a 1-month-old, honestly. Hold a brightly coloured book up. Tell them what's going on. Do it repeatedly. Then one day when you say, "Where's that postman?" they'll point to it, and you will realise that all of those nights reading the same book, it was all going in. So put down the phone, look into their eyes, watch their brains grow as you do. It's the most important thing you'll ever do. It will pass quicker than you know, trust me. And if you're looking at your phone when you're holding your baby or sitting with your toddler, they know that they don't have your attention, and they are intrigued by what is it that does have it, and why can't they have that? Lead by example. They will thank you one day, I promise. I tell Alice every day that she will thank me one day. I explain to her why she's not going to go on games on the iPad, why she's only having a limited time on it. She understands because I tell her. And one day, even though she might go through a period where she thinks I'm really mean, she will thank me for it. And your children will thank you too. I really don't believe that most parents, 99% of parents, want to harm their children. I don't. Because if they did, they would let them do whatever they wanted. But they don't. They keep their children safe. So I think that the only reason screens are finding their way into so many children's lives is that parents don't know the information that we've just talked about. So we just have to get the message out there. No one harms their kids deliberately, and not many people do. So screens are harming your kids. Take them away in the main. Before 2, a toddler shouldn't even look at a phone really. But if they do, use the guidelines that I've given you. I hope that's useful, everyone. If you liked it, please tell me. If you've got questions, please ask me. If you want me to cover other things, I will. Just pop it in the comments below and share this with people so that we spread the word far and wide. Take care, everyone.